All right, guys, we're getting another recording going, and here at Amology, that's the series of these recordings, and then I'm having to accompany every one of these Amology recordings. I'm doing a chapter from my book, which is titled "You Are Everything, and Everything Is You," and we'll talk about this in the next video. And before I move on to the information I'm going to discuss in this video, I'd like to invite you all to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, the notification bell, and I'd like to inspire and motivate you to leave kind, inspiring comments. The conversation that I have here, I start out by saying, welcome to Amology, no apology, and no debate. This is not a platform where anything that I discuss is traditional. So again, I'll say welcome to Amology with no apology and no debate. This is a non-traditional, non-religious, joyful, happy, fun conversation about the real truth you are. I am. I am. So I will talk in a way you'll hear me doing things with prepositions to have you experience yourself as first cause. I'm notifying you right away that I'm going to break some grammar rules just to have you experience yourself as that which we're talking about, which I'm talking about. And I just came out of meditation, and I was like, gosh, what am I going to talk about today? I already know I'm going to talk about the second chapter in the book. I covered the first chapter yesterday, so I'm going to cover the second chapter today, which is titled You Are Power. That'll be in the next video. So as I was in meditation, very relaxed, and I read something from one of my books, old book I've had for a while, titled The Abundance Book, by a gentleman, great speaker, who dedicated his life into giving us information to help us realize our true self. His name was Randolph Price. And I believe he would go by the title Pastor Randolph Price. I am not a minister. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a deacon. So don't classify me as that. So I'm letting you know these things up front, because when you start talking and using scripture, people like to classify you in the group and then attach certain behaviors you're supposed to exude because they have these ideas in their awareness how you're supposed to be, that you are this because you're talking about that. And so I've learned to diffuse that by saying, look, you'll hear me use scripture. That's not an invitation for a confrontation. And I'm speaking as and from experience, because I was speaking to someone one day and I was quoting scriptures. Trust me, I've studied a great deal, because I was really looking to understand for I am self. You'll hear me use terms like I am self instead of myself, because when you say I am self, that does something. The registration and the way that's used, you could feel yourself as an inclusive entity, an inclusive energy, not separate. When you say myself, that gives the connotation that my self or my book. Yes, that's your book. But when you say my, separation happens just in the context of the word my. But when I say I am book, now grammatically, you heard me say I'm going to break the grammar rules. That doesn't sound correct, but I'm not in a classroom where I'm handing in English compositions where I'm looking to get a good grade in grammar. So I'm purposely breaking the grammar just to have first cause experience. So I'll say I am book. See the difference? I am book. There's no my that can be separated. Even though you can see me physically put this book down, I am this book. So I am book. Now, why am I touching on this? That if you start using the language that way, and my son and I were discussing this earlier, even though you can even explain to your family or children, hey, I know this is not proper grammar, but I'm doing things with the word my and I am to really have us feel that we are one, that I am family. You usually don't hear anyone talk that way. But when you say I am family, wow, you feel that? I am's family. Your family is you. Now that's a very powerful realization to understand. I like to use the word understand and overstand instead of understand, because I don't understand anything. I'm not standing under anyone or anything. But I understand and overstand everything. So I'm playing with these words, and you can now. I invite you to play with them too, to have a different experience. So as you start speaking this way, you'll start experiencing the self you are instead of yourself. I even take the R off the word your and say you self. You are the self that you are experiencing. You see the difference? These things and these ways of using the language improperly, but successfully, for you not even to have. See that? I stopped myself from saying having, but for you to be the experience. There's a difference of having experience and being the experience. Just like having a book and being the book. Now, to your reason, to all the training that you've been given and grown up with, that doesn't agree with what I'm saying. But who cares about that? How much has that been given to you? In school, it gave you good grades. It got you a nice degree. I have a degree as well. Got you a good job. But then somewhere in your life, there's something you feel that is missing. Because some beings have gone to school and they accomplish the financial success. But then there's another part of their life that they're not accomplishing because they don't know how and why they're not accomplishing that. Because you are already accomplished as that. You just don't realize that. So you are the complete success, the complete circumference as all that you love and are. But if you believe that you're not, you're going to act based on the belief that you are, right? Because beliefs are given to us. And we don't realize we become those beliefs. And we're not separate from those beliefs. We are those beliefs until we depart ourselves from those beliefs. And that's why I'm using the language the way I'm doing it, to help you depart from beliefs that had you feeling separate from what you really are. Again, you have successfully accomplished your financial life. You went to school, you got a degree, your grades were very good. You come out, you go interview, you get the job, you're financially secure. Your bank account is okay. You know how to go online to invest in stock market, 401ks, all this stuff. You have all that down, but then there's another area in your life you feel like, gosh, you don't have a grasp on. So some beings have a grasp on all the other areas, but then the financial, they're trying to get a grasp on that. And so many beings are doing that, because when I look at YouTube, I love YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful platform. And there's so many good platforms that I'm beginning to learn about. I love Twitter. I post videos up on Twitter all the time. And I'm just beginning to acquaint myself with Instagram. So you'll see some of these videos on Instagram. But YouTube and I are just like, I'm on YouTube, but still there's a great deal about YouTube I'm learning. Okay? So the reason why I'm saying these things is that, there's always something that we're going to learn. And what if we, even though these things are new, we approach them by saying, I am. Like, I am YouTube. I am the marketing information that I'm learning to use to have my videos more visible to more beings in which they can be helped. You see, I'm talking in a way kind of like methodical, so that I can distract certain prepositions that I would just automatically use if I just spoke at the verbal rate that I usually speak at. But I'm making sure I help you as much as I can. So I'm taking my time to methodically enunciate, not just to articulate, but to make sure I purposely take out those prepositions and say certain words in a way that while you're listening to this recording, you can actually feel yourself experiencing what I am saying without all the other stuff that you've been used to hearing. Now, one of the things I do, I keep forgetting to bring my, I usually have this white sheet. So, and I have these names on there that I hear pitched in a lot of videos. So I'm going to verbally say them, because otherwise I'll take a moment to go grab it and you just have a blank moment during the recording. But I'm going to go ahead and verbally say them because you've heard them. And I'd like to invite you to fire. In the beginning of this book, I have a divorce ceremony that takes place. Then you have a divorce certificate. That's at the beginning of this book. And what I have you to divorce is the teachings of an MIND. The teachings of the law of attraction. The teachings of the subconscious MIND. And the reason I'm doing that because I was one time a victim to those teachings. And you hear them all over the internet. And there are a lot of books in here I refer you to that you'll see those terms in. Overlook those terms, and wherever you see MIND, law of attraction, subconscious MIND, replace them with the word I am. Do that. And the reason why I'm saying replace them with the word I am, because if you look at, and I will use scripture, but when I do that, do not put me in a religious box, because I'm going to truthfully tell you, if there's a faith that I would study, that would be Buddhism, because Buddhism to me is a self-empowering teaching. I'm not going to knock any other teaching. I just don't jive with that. I had a saying when I began to write this book: if you're reading something that empowers something else and not you, put it down. Put I am down, or put it down. In that case, I'll say that's it, because you want to let's keep that separate. Anything that you prefer not to have part of you or your life, that's when you use the word it. Because if you put it in the sentence, it cognitate separation. So if you say, I like that home over there, it's beautiful, you just separate yourself from that home. So I'm making you aware when and how to use the word it. Awarely, not unawarely. I look at something I like, I'll say, I am that home. Now we know that's not perfect grammar. That's not, some beings will say that's not good English. But again, I'm not in school. I'm not turning in an essay to get a grade. I am looking to experience I am self as that home. So I'm going to say and speak this sentence the way I best speak that sentence to enjoy that experience. Now I'm going to drop another verse. I know when I'm speaking that I am power. And that's going to be the chapter that I'm going to cover in the next video. You are power. You are power. That's why the sentence is written. Words have power. No, they don't. Until you the power, put yourself in those words. Once you focus yourself upon those words and into them, they have the power. You are. Now that sentence is correct. But words on their own, they don't have power. I don't care how well written the book is. Like I'm looking at the Black's Law Diction book here. Yeah. Those words in that book are not powerful until they're acclimated and activated as the power you are. You believe I'm not telling the truth? If you're studying something, you pick up a book, there are many law books, and they're sitting on the shelf. Yes. They don't become powerful until you focus on the material in that book and start bringing that material to life. Now, that material written in that book is empowered by the you are. And the sentence that words have power are true. No matter how the word is written, if you don't speak that word has no power. Which is why, now I'm going to pull a verse, not to be religious, not to be identified or classified as a minister or preacher, because I don't claim those titles. And I don't have to. That's why I don't. And I don't box myself in by claiming those titles to a certain behavior or presentation that I have to come off as for you to be acceptable or approved by your trained way of perceiving things and those who deliver certain messages. That's why that's why I say this is a non-traditional, non-religious, joyful, happy, fun conversation. This is not a sermon. I'm not delivering a sermon here. I'm talking in a way that you could be sitting at a bar. You can be sitting at a football game and you can go, wow. I made sure before I started doing these videos that I don't have an overtone like I'm preaching at someone. Because no one likes to be preached at. I don't like that. And I'm not going to do that because I don't like having that done unto me. But if I have a conversation with you and my conversation inspires you to start feeling good and empowered, that's better than feeling like, oh, you were spoken in a way where you were made to feel guilty and shameful. Why punish yourself like that? I would never deliver a message to anyone like that, ever. And if I catch myself subjectively doing that, I'll stop. It's never my intentions to do that. So I'm bringing you to the awareness and my own self, like I was just doing the meditation, just relaxing. And all the things I was just kind of watching a little snippet of the movie Blind Side and heard Michael Orr, the real gentleman, not the actor, speak about his true experience. And he said, man, I had to put the grind in. I had to grind out. I had to put that grind in every day. And I know what that's like because I work out 4 days a week at the gym, but I do 7 days a week calisthenics. And I boxed for 4.5 years. I studied martial arts. I played football and basketball. And no matter what I do in the gym one week, I have to duplicate that the next week. So you have to put work in. But when you're putting work in, try putting the work in as the awareness, as the success already accomplished. So you're working as that success. Like, you're building up your body. You're looking, say your goal is to lose 20 pounds, and everyone's having that goal at the top of the year. So this is perfect timing. Don't focus on losing weight. Work out as the weight already being lost. That's a different switch. So even though your body is showing this amount, just say, I am this image. You have an image. You can look at a picture. You can even go to a magazine and take a picture of your face, and put a different body to your face. And then this is the image you have as you're working out. Now I'm going to tell you something. Every time you give good advice, you receive the good advice you're giving. So I receive what I just gave you. You are already an accomplished fact as that which you're looking to accomplish. Now this you I'm talking about is I am. Then you happen as the body. See, the real you is I am. See, that's why I'm going to pull this verse. John 8:58. I always start out with that. Before Abraham was, I am. Now, I am always precede the physical, or what's called the visible. So when you look at that picture, I'm a personal trainer too, and you put your face on a body that you like to have, and you start working out as that image, your workout's going to be more powerful because you're already that. Even though physically, Romans 4:17 says, I call the things that appear not as though they were. And I am the unseen being seen. So you're enjoying that new image, and that'll fire you up more. And you put in the work in. Like Michael Orr said, I had to grind every day. So you're grinding as a different image, an accomplished image, which put more fire in your, or more fuel in your tank, more fire in your engine, and your workout, you already accomplished. So you're enjoying the accomplishment, because having that accomplishment, you're going to feel great, right? Now that greatness goes into your right now presentation, your right now workout. So you're already the accomplished goal. So you're working right backwards. So basically you're working as already succeeded. And this takes me to a movie that Warren Beatty made years ago. And I have the classic version. And the classic version is Here Come Mr. Jordan. And Warren Beatty did a movie years ago, like the late 70s. And the movie was called, he played a Rams quarterback. Guys, some of you out there probably know about this movie. But it's really interesting because he said to his team, he's a quarterback, and Warren Beatty said, let's already have won the Super Bowl. Let's already have won. So they go on the field, and they go through the whole four quarters, but they go through the whole 4 quarters as already won, as already successful, all victorious. And they're enjoying the success each quarter. So they playing the game differently than the team they're playing, because the team they're playing is playing to win, but they playing as already won. So that's I am. When you say I am, that's done. I am is just not a new name everybody's picking up, like, man, everybody's saying I am that I am, but I am means finished, done, completed. So now how do we act as that? So our actions should be different if we're finished, done, and completed. Doesn't mean you're not going to act, but that means that your actions are different because you're acting as the completed reality. You know? So I said this in one of my other videos. So you look at the house and say, I am house. You can feel yourself as the house, right? So the first thing that your brain's going to say is, now you got to go get qualified for a loan. mortgage company, da da. But what if you just look at the house and say, I am house, and just feel yourself as the house? You know, you're there already. Then you go to the mall and start buying curtains for the home and blinds and dishes and silverware and blah, blah, blah. You've already told yourself, I am that house. I'm an acquisition of that home because now I'm buying items for the new home. And I'm telling you, I'm encouraging myself with these videos. Every speaker that's speaking, some are probably not living what they're saying. I do. I feel even more motivated when I'm doing what I'm sharing. I feel even more motivated when I'm doing what I'm sharing. I feel more excited because I'm doing this. I'm sharing, like I'm sharing this video with you right now. But now this makes me responsible to do what I'm saying. Because then I'm more fired up. I'm not a hypocrite. That's right. So in the next video, I can tell you, yes, this is what I went out and did. I'm going to do that. Because I feel better to really be doing what I'm sharing. I have more energy in sharing this. So this is Amology. No apology and no debate. So I'm saying that because I've experienced talking about scripture. Somebody just came up, I heard you talking about, and just bumped. I don't invite that. Whatever your faith is, whatever your convictions are with using scripture, keep that to yourself. I'm sharing something for beings who are open to this. I'm not taking anybody from their faith. Keep going to your place of fellowshipping. Just add this to you, and then then you could be a better whatever your faith is. That's what I'm doing here. I'm not trying to create a new religion or compete with any religious titles or whatever out there. I'm just saying, hey, keep going to where you fellowshipping, but just take a listen to this and add this to the what you are, and then, you know, perhaps this make you a better you first, than what you believe in second, right? So, I'm gonna read a verse to you, and this is the foundation that we all work as and from. Now, you notice I said as and from. John 8:58. Before, see, like I said, the body put the head, the picture on the body. So you already, I am that, right? So before Abraham was, I am. Before the results are, I am. So when you get that, when you said to the house, I am that house, I am house, you already, I am as the house. And then you go through the steps, not to accomplish, but to support the I am you said you are. Don't go through the steps to accomplish that, because then you're saying that you're not that, right? If you're going after something, you're saying you don't have that. And you will manifest not having. But if you're in action based on being, then that you're already being that. So buying curtains, buying dishes, buying this, that for the home are actions and activities that say you're shopping for your new home. That says you have acquired that home. The acquisition of that home is accomplished. And you're going to buy things. See the difference? Acting as and from I am, opposed to minus I am. I chose that word minus instead of L-A-C-K. So that's what I'm sharing today on this video on Amology. Amology, the study is I am, right? Not the study of psychology, that's the study of the psyche. Or biology, the study of the body. Astrology, the study of astronomy. I am ology. The study is I am. I am. You are. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay? So, there's a gentleman, I wrote a note down. We probably getting to the end of the video. And I meant to mention this on my video before. Wipe my nose a little bit. Excuse me. And this gentleman, wrote something that I made a note about to present to you. And his name is, I'm going to quote him. His name is David J. Walker. He said, "You are life, bigger than any religion or philosophy or science or society can explain." You are life, bigger than any religion, any philosophy, any society, or any science can explain. When you start grasping this you that I'm talking about, which is I am, which is why this series is titled I Amology. Once we really grasp that realization that we are I am and start to act as I am, not as who we believe we were, but what I am. The experiences as the life you are must be different because you are now different. There's a verse in scripture that goes, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." I said, no, be ye transformed by the dumping your mind. Like I said in the beginning of my book, there's a divorce ceremony where you're divorcing mind, law of attraction,